edition.
Oh.
Yeah, this is that. Hi, I'm Drew.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Laura.
And this is the spooky version of the podcast that you know and love. It is October. We are recording this in October. And our main goal always in October is to do our best to make Brian uncomfortable. And not in like a way
I
where
don't know
like...
that's our goal.
Yeah, but like not in a way where we just like look at Brian funny and wink at him and stuff while he's trying to talk, but like it's actually like to get him out of his comfort zone with movies he typically would never watch, which that main genre is horror. And Laura and I, we are horror fans, so we are sharing our love with our good friend Brian. Brian, I hope you at least appreciate that we're it's not like hey, let's fuck Brian up. It's more like this is really good. How is he not seen this? We have to get him to see this. So
yeah,
it's coming from.
I do, and I mentioned this. I don't remember if I mentioned it on air, but I do think there's like a slight desensitizing that's like happening. So I think you've got like a challenge this year to get me something that's actually scary.
Yes. Right. Brian, that's actually a question that I have in here for you. I'm gonna ask at the end. We'll get there, but we're gonna just jump right in because
let's do it
again. Laura, you have your own movie that we're going to be doing a special live, not live, but in-person session in a couple of weeks for. And this is my one right here. And we are watching 2017's Stephen King's It. Part 1. We won't be watching both of them. We'll be watching just the first one. I'm excited for this, Brian, because when we talked about this a while ago, you're like, I kind of like know the gist of this movie. And I think you do, but I'm actually excited because I think, again, I'm reaching here, but I think you're going to enjoy it for a different reason. I don't think you are going to like the horror aspect. I think you're going to like a whole different part of the movie. So I'm really excited to see how you go for it. Before we even dive into anything about the movie, I have a quick game for us today. Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right.
The game is this. It's 5 quick rounds. All right. And it is just, is this a real movie or mini series adaptation of a Stephen King book, or did I just make it up?
All right.
Okay. Just 5 rounds. Okay. So I'm going to name a title, and it was either a movie or show based on Stephen King's work or not. Okay. Totally.
And the title is of the Stephen King's adaptation, not the actual novel, because that sometimes changes, right?
Sometimes, but not on any of these cases if that's the case.
Okay.
So it will be the same as the book that the work is. Okay. So I'm going to
let Brian answer them first. Okay. Because when I did my Stephen King or porno, I kind of saw a few. So I'll let Brian guess first, so I don't taint any of his.
I'm pretty sure like one or two of these were ones that were in that, and I was like, I feel like we did this, but still, we're going quick. See. So here's the quick test. All right, Stephen King or not? Salem's Lot. Test round.
Stephen King.
Stephen King, Laura?
Stephen
King. And it's a vampire book about vampires, or a town with vampires. Okay, so let's jump into the next one. Here's round 1. Ready? This is the first one. Cycle of the Werewolf. Stephen King, or did I just make that shit up?
I think you made that one up. I don't think that's Stephen King.
I agree.
Okay.
He doesn't strike me as like a werewolf guy.
Right. Okay. Number 2. I'll give the answers at the end. Number 2. Dr. Sleep.
This is Stephen King.
Okay.
Stephen
King. All right. Number 3. The Tommyknockers.
Stephen King. I think you stumbled to throw me off.
Yes.
Okay.
He did.
Okay. All right. Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game.
Yeah, Gerald's Game. It's just Gerald and he's got a game.
I think that's Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Okay.
Brian's doing good.
Yep. And The Outsider.
Ooh. I think you made that one up.
So there's the movie The Outsiders, but is that Stephen King?
There is a movie called The Outsiders. Yes. This is called The Outsider.
I'm gonna go made up.
Made up.
I'm not
okay.
sure though. Yeah.
Not bad. You did very good. All of them are Stephen King titles that were made. Not one of them was made up. Cycle of the Werewolf was a short novella of his that was exactly what it sounds like. It's a werewolf, but it takes the cycle is over a year. Every chapter is a particular month that the werewolf strikes, and it's about a boy who is wheelchair bound, and he finds out that the priest in his town is this werewolf. Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, an excellent book, but a really great version of the movie as well. Mike Flanagan, who is a very big Stephen King fan. Mike Flanagan also made the very good Netflix shows House on Haunted Hill, House of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and just the Fall of the House of Usher just came out. And he is also adapted Gerald's Game for Netflix. He made that a movie, which is a psychological thriller about a woman and her husband who go to a cabin and they play some sexy games, and he handcuffs her to the bed, but then she doesn't like it, kicks him, and he has a heart attack and dies. And the cabin is in the woods. The front door is open, and she is got only a few days to figure out a way to get out. It's a very good and thrilling movie. It's not horror. It's just thrilling. Then we have the two shows or miniseries, the Tommyknockers. At the height of Stephen King's drug-induced state, he wrote the Tommyknockers. I believe this is the book he said he doesn't remember writing, and it is about aliens. And they made a pretty decent ABC miniseries of it.
I remember that.
It's pretty out there. And then finally, the last one, which is another very good adaptation, is called The Outsider. This is on HBO. It was made for HBO 2 years ago, I think. Jason Bateman is in it. But it's about this guy who gets arrested for murdering a child, but might not actually, there might be another doppelganger of him out there.
I did watch this.
Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn is in it. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but it is a wild movie or show. Really cool.
It was really good.
Very much worth watching. So you all did very good. You got 3 out of 5 on the is this Stephen King or did I make this shit up?
Nice.
So great job. And now let's talk about what we're here for today. We are here to watch 2017's Stephen King's It Part 1. This was directed by Andy I'm trying here. It's very Italian. It's Muccinetti. He did the most recent flop of The Flash, but he also did the movie Mama back in the day, probably like 2013, 14-ish, I think. It was produced.
Was that the prequel to Mamma Mia?
No, it was produced by Guillermo del Toro. It's a creepy movie about these 2 kids that are found feral in the woods, and there's a spirit that was taking care of them, and when they are taken out of that environment and brought back into society, Mama doesn't like that, and Mama comes looking. So yeah, it's if you recall, as we know, this is a Stephen King book. It was one of his longest books. It is it's one of his most famous stories. It's also one that people find very decisive about the storytelling. It's told in a very unique way. It is not told in a linear fashion. It's told 2 stories happen at the exact same time, and it culminates to one big ending. It's pretty wild. There's also a big thing in the end that people are happy did not make it into this movie, but we'll get into that later. So also in the early 90s, it was made into a wonderful TV miniseries as well. That was on ABC for like 5 or 10 years. ABC basically adapted a Stephen King novel for 10 years straight. They did The Stand, The Langoliers, Tommyknockers, Storm of the Century. They did a bunch of them. But
I never knew that was a miniseries.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was a movie.
A movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember, again, this is one of those movies I saw super young, probably shouldn't have, but my mom loved to show me scary movies. But I remember going to like Video Galaxy and renting this, and it was on 2 VHS tapes. Yep. And I used to like beg her to go rent it probably like once a month because I love this movie so much. And I was probably like 10 years old.
So good. Yeah. Tim Curry played character. I'm not going to say the name yet because these are questions coming up, but Tim Curry gave one of his best performances in this miniseries as well.
Yeah. So it's still good. Yeah.
It is. It's still very good, but it's like what we're going to watch today is meant for a darkened room, and I'm excited. So now that I've talked a lot, I'm going to ask what Brian specifically, because Laura, you know all about this.
I've seen this.
This is basically a Brian interview today. Brian, what do you know about this film?
All right. So there's a clown, an evil clown named Pennywise. So I know this thing because I thought it was interesting, so I like Wikipedia'd this years ago. But like, and I don't think it shows up in the movie from what I understand. But I think that the clown is like an ancient evil being that like predates the universe or something and is in conflict with like the turtle that the universe is on or something like that. There's some like wild cosmic shit that Stephen King wrote, but that's not, I doubt, is in the movie.
Yeah, so that is very much a very important detail from the book. The origin of this being, this thing. So that is one specific thing. So this movie is about an evil clown, Pennywise, who is also an ancient evil being.
Yes.
Okay.
Like not just a clown. He's like taking the form of a clown.
Okay, that's what I was
think it like feeds on fear, but I also think it shows up in timed intervals. I don't know what those timed intervals are. It's got to be like every 30 years or something like that, or every 20 years or something like that.
Okay.
So I think that the movie, the two time periods that it takes place in is like the 1980s with a group of kids, and then those kids as adults 20 something years later. Because like as kids they find out, this thing, they like go to a fucking library and realize that this thing shows up every some odd years. So they like don't defeat it, but it goes away in the 80s. And then they're like afraid that it's going to come back when they're adults. And they have to like convince each other to like, no, it's back. And we have to like finish it off for good.
Okay.
So it's like both stories are happening at the same time because they like experience it as kids. And then they, as adults, like hope that was a fever dream or some shit, but then they have to like convince each other to. Some of this is no, and some of this is guesswork.
Sure.
I'm blending the two.
Yeah.
I think Bill Hader is one of the adults.
Okay.
And I think he plays an older version of the kid from Stranger Things.
Okay, cool.
I forget his name. Mike?
Yes.
In Stranger Things?
Yeah. In Stranger Things, it's Mike. I forget the actor's name. I don't know. He's in a band, Wolfgang something or other.
Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, close enough.
That's the actor's name, Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's even weirder than being a band name.
Finn Wolfhard is this character that you are talking about. Okay,
so he plays young Bill Hader, and Bill Hader plays the adult version. The clown is that guy. He's a Viking.
He is. He's the brother of a more famous Viking.
Yeah. I forget his name.
Do you know the last name?
Is it? Well, he's one of the Mickelsons.
No,
he's not Mickelson. Skarsgård. I don't know which Skarsgård it is.
That's okay.
Bill Skarsgård.
Very good, Bill.
Okay.
Bill Skarsgård. Okay, so you've got 3 actors that you know are in the movie. Great.
I don't know anyone else is in the movie.
Okay.
I think that there's a kid who gets eaten pretty early on. I think we get like a Jaws scenario, right? Where the swimmers are out in the water and you're like, oh man, don't go out there. Like this is the first scene of the movie. So I think there's this like kid in a yellow raincoat and he splashed around in puddles and he's got a little boat and the boat goes down a storm drain. This is like the classic scene that I feel like, and it goes down the storm drain and then the fucking clown is in the storm drain and he talks to him like nice, like he's not mean. He's like, I don't know. But I think the line that I'm thinking of, yeah, but he's like, we all float down here or something like that. Like that's the line that I feel like I've heard before.
Cool.
And then
I'm already thinking about how
eats that kid. I think
stay up after this, watching the second one because I want to watch the second one after we watch this one already.
I think his name's Georgie. Okay. I think the little kid's name is Georgie, but I think he eats that little boy.
Okay, so I had a question: who is Georgie? So you think Georgie is a little eaten boy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
got a little yellow rain jacket.
Okay, yellow raincoat. I like it. Okay. Anything else you know about this? I mean, you've got it seems like you've got a good grasp on some basics on it. You know,
I think the clown can shapeshift a little bit.
Shapeshift clown. Cool. Shifty clown.
That's all I got though.
Okay, cool.
That's a lot.
It's good.
You did pretty good.
You have a lot of good basic details. I'll tell you that much. You've mixed a little bit from the book and the movie, but you're primarily on the right track.
Which is interesting, having not read the book or watched the movie.
Yeah, but that Wikipedia page gave you a good amount, I think, when you read it. The little details you remember, it's those things. Where and when do you think it takes place? Now, you had mentioned the 80s, and if you said 20 to 30 years, you're talking 80s and 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So, 80s.
I'm just thinking about, like, how old Finn is, and then how old Bill Hader is.
Yeah. Fair.
Like timeline wise, that feels like a 20 to 30 year difference in the movie.
Okay. All right. So where does it take place?
Probably fucking Maine.
Perfect.
I was gonna say, think about Stephen King.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before.
Small Maine suburban town.
It's actually a very specific town, but you got the state, and I'm happy with that. I'll let you go there.
Is it a real town?
No, it is a town that has, I think, it is the place of over 30 or 40 Stephen King novels stories take place in this very specific town.
That's how he's so efficient with writing. He just picks a town and he's like, now I don't got to think of any other places. They all take place here.
Pretty much. Like, even if you're not in that town, you come back to this town.
Yeah. Where's a small town this character can go for? That one town I fucking made up.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of things tie into this particular place. You're doing great. So we said, what does it feed off of? You said fear. So I'll keep that as a new thing. Who's in the movie? You gave me Bill Skarsgård. You said Finn Wolfhard. You gave us Bill Hader as well. I'm not going to agree or disagree to those, but I'd say you're pretty close. Who is Henry? Who is Henry Bowers?
Henry Bowers.
I had to think about that for a second.
Henry Bowers is someone the kids find who's like a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, I like that.
Who like believes in the clown's existence or like has encountered the clown, 20 years prior to the kids. So like in the kids' timeline, Henry Bowers, someone who experienced the clown. Experience the clown sounds like I invented a cool new McDonald's slogan.
Right? Experience the clown.
Experience the clown.
Okay, so he's older though.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's old. Like he might have done it. He might have experienced the clown 2 or 3 times at this point.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. You said the kids talk to this older person. So this person experienced the clown 30 years prior, 50s or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And then maybe before that even. Like maybe when he was a kid in like the 20s or whatever. But like, and he's only figured out how to like survive. So his life's a living hell. Every 20, 30 years, he's just got to like survive. And he's figured out how to like stave off the clown attacks. Cool. And he like gives the kids advice. But I think like he doesn't want to help them. And then they try to like force him to help. And then they get him killed by the clown.
Oh no.
And all this time, he never moved out of the town.
I know, right?
No.
Regrettably.
He's there to like protect the people.
I think the town. I don't know if the town matters. I think the clown will find you.
Okay.
Okay, so he's had to survive these clown attacks every 30 years. Who is the clown after? Does the clown no judgments, just goes after anybody? Like just waits in alleyways for people, or like who's the clown going after? Is there a specific?
Yes. Goes after what would it be in this one? It's weird that the clown is after them 30 years later.
Right.
Because I'd say if it's going after kids, it's just going after like fucking virgins.
Oh.
But like going after
virgins, because you can be an adult and be a virgin.
You can, but it's a group of it's a group of them, you know? It's like they just all grow up and become incels or whatever.
Okay. So it is virgins he's going after, or no?
No, I don't. That's why I'm thinking like I don't know that it's virgins. I think it might just be like I think he's just like going after kids.
Okay. Oh, so he's
He
going
wants
after
that
kids. So the old
young
man,
youth blood.
So how does the old man still need to avoid it then?
Maybe if you like just piss him off.
Okay.
He's like,
so
you can't know that I exist, so I gotta like
you piss him off.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That works.
Or there's like a tome.
Oh, like maybe you took his special like toy and
Yeah,
it comes
like
out,
a
like
totem
you find
or
like
something.
a squeaky toy in the alleyway, and now it's like watching
if you
the
got
video
one of
from
his
The Ring.
Yeah. Oh, maybe the boat was his.
Oh shit!
It's one of his Horcruxes.
There you go. Take his boat. You dead. Boat.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you can.
Because you said toy, and it made me think of it. In this movie, you're going to see a toy that we are all very familiar with. Can you take a guess of what that may be?
Oh. Is it the 10188 UCS Death Star?
No, but the brand is correct.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I said, who is Georgie? And you said Little Eaton Boy with a yellow raincoat. Who is Pennywise? It was my question. You already brought that up. He's evil clown. Okay, quick question. Brian, what do you think, or who is the DCU connection, the now defunct DCU connection? There's a actor from the DCU that is in this.
Oh shit.
In the first one?
Yes, in the first one.
It's not Ben Affleck.
Nope.
It's not Henry Cavill.
It's not.
I don't think it's Gal Gadot.
Mm-mm.
It could be Ezra Miller.
Oh, because he also worked with this director. Okay. And Ezra Miller loves showing up in Warner Brother movies. Ezra Miller. I'll take it. Okay.
Cool.
You already got what the Stranger Things connection is, Finn Wolfhard. But what is the 2023 Dungeons and Dragons connection?
Oh.
Is Chris Pine in this movie?
Chris Pine's not in this one.
Are you sure?
I think it could be, what's the kid's name? Justin.
Justin Smith?
Yeah.
Justin.
Is it Justin?
Yes.
Justice
Smith, yeah. All right.
Or Sophia or Sophie Lillis.
Sophia Lillis?
Okay.
I'll say or Sophie.
But I don't think the others are.
No, you don't think so?
Up.
Okay. Couple more questions and then we can start this off. What's the name of our main character's club?
Ooh, Clown Butchers.
I'm sorry, what? The cow butchers?
Clown butchers. The Clown Butchers.
Cow would be very random.
Cow riders.
Okay. I'm writing butchers and it keeps saying but hers.
Butters.
There we go. Butchers. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right. Last question for you, Brian. What do you think the kill count will be in this movie?
That we actually see?
There's a total and there's a certain amount on screen as well. So the on screen is obviously a smaller number than off screen. I'm just looking for total.
2 on screen.
That's very good. It's not the answer, but it's very good.
5 total.
5 total. Okay.
Including the 2 on screen.
Okay, so 5 total.
I don't even remember.
Okay.
I feel like it's low. This feels like the threat of it is enough.
Okay. That sounds
to be
good.
Spooky.
Perfect. All right. Well, in that case, who's ready to float?
Ready.
Let's do it. Is this the house from The Conjuring?
Kind of looks like it.
I think it's the same wood grain station wagon.
Yeah, right?
Sophia Lillis.
Ah, yeah, you saw it. Yep. Got your good your D&D connection.
Bill Skarsgård. What?
Why is it in Spanish?
Oh, yeah, mine wasn't.
Yeah, mine's in Spanish. Hang on.
Change the audio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Brian, I was going to say, do you know the Knives Out connection? But I don't know if you recognize our kid upstairs or not.
Oh, is he the kid who masturbates in a bathroom?
Yeah. He's like Michael Shannon's son.
The alt-right Twitter troll.
Yes, yeah.
What are you doing in the sewer?
A storm blew me away.
That would have been my first fucking question.
Circus away.
Idiot kid.
Can smell the circus.
That's not a CGI effect. That's actually something Bill Skarsgård can do is switch his eye. He has one lazy eye. Yeah.
I know, I was just noticing that.
Yeah.
Like, one's a little off.
Yep. He can move it himself.
I don't know any person that's ever seen this movie. If you drop something down a sewer, that shit's gone forever. I would never stick my hand down a sewer ever.
Oh, yeah.
You remember how heavy backpacks used to be when you'd have all your freaking books in them?
Ugh, yeah, when I used to have to carry my backpack from my bedroom to the kitchen table. Sucked.
One thing you should be very lucky for. I remember one time I couldn't get my locker open and I had like all my books for the whole day and just carrying them around. Trauma. I love his shirt. It's so 80s, like with the animal, like.
Yes.
I think everyone had a shirt with a wolf or something on it, like a random animal.
God, it really did such a good job. Like, I love that one of Pennywise's favorite things to do is to antagonize children by literally running at them awkwardly.
Yeah.
Before, like, you'll notice, like, he knows what he's doing. It's not like just silly. He's like literally, yeah, I love it.
The editing of that is so good.
So good.
It's like almost edited like a comedy.
Yeah.
It's very humorous for what this is.
Yeah.
But it's like kids interacting with each other.
Yeah. It's very like coming of age.
That's why I thought you'd like it over the horror stuff, because it's got that thing to it.
You're like, I don't like this.
These are my favorite things about these movies with Brian, just the uncomfortable noises.
He's like,
The score too, like crescendoing down. Jesus Christ.
He does seem like he enjoys to torture them a little before, like he got Georgie real quick. He's like, okay, I'm full for a little bit. Let me torture the rest of these people.
Yeah, I do feel it's like a Monsters Inc. scenario where he's getting something out of the fear part.
Yeah.
Big time.
Wait, isn't that the homeschool kid's bike?
Oh
the homeschool
no,
kid, Brian.
Not the homeschool
better
kid.
Watch out.
Yes.
Yeah, just leave him right in the fucking street.
At least Stan's puts a.
Of course he fucking did.
Stand up.
That's the name of their club, Brian. The Losers Club.
Very good. I also like that they're just calling him homeschool.
How'd you get in here?
I hate this room. This room sucks.
Yeah.
This room's bad.
See what these are? They're gazebos. They're bullshit.
They help you, Eddie.
Wait, how did he?
How did he get out of that tunnel and in this area?
Yeah.
It's
I miss that?
because the closer you are to its like home, essentially, the more power it has over you.
And also, the more you are afraid and like believe that it's real,
Oh, okay.
you
The
kind
worse
of,
off you are.
Yeah, and Stanley is kind of
The most susceptible at the
yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Again, this is always unnecessary in movies.
Yeah.
Just a small bit. Just nope. Not that much.
He sliced my whole freaking hand open.
Yep.
Have either
Okay.
of you ever done this?
Nope.
No.
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 Me neither.
Because I don't want to get a fucking staph infection.
Yeah.
Nope.
I've done like the spit like handshake.
Mm.
Yeah, that's fine. Brian and I made an agreement once, spit in each other's mouth. Like that was sealed the deal, but like that's the extent of like that.
Yeah, we definitely.
That's what happens before I join the calls. Get spit swap agreements.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How do you explain the cuts on that kid's face as he got bit by?
The adults would literally be like, "Looks like you got some bee stings."
Yeah.
Oh, that octopus really got you, huh?
All right, that was it. So, Brian, what did you think?
I had no idea that this was a paid partnership with McDonald's. When the clown turned out to be Ronald, and then that was wild enough. But when Grimace showed up,
I know, like
Out of this
the
world.
nightmares of Grimace, you know.
yeah,
We thought it was gonna be blood. It was just purple milkshake.
Right.
yeah.
Oh.
We all milkshake down here.
Yeah.
my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
You do a very good it voice.
Thanks.
Or Pennywise.
Yeah.
I guess I should say.
God, Bill Skarsgård was so good though. Like
so good, right?
Like the physical acting of it,
Mhm.
like the voice was terrifying, and the eye thing.
Yes.
But the it was like physical movements, and some of that is like in the editing too. Like it's almost comedic when he's like doing the dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they're first down there, but I liked it. This was actually like, I don't know, up my alley. It's got the like what's the phrase? It's like Stand By Me
Yes, very much
energy.
so,
It's got
yeah.
Stand By Me energy. It's got Stranger Things energy. But at the same time, it was just like funny throughout.
Yeah.
Like Richie's just a little shit.
Yes.
Richie's a
and
little
Eddie
shit. Him
were
and Eddie,
so good together.
yeah.
yeah, wicked good chemistry. And then there's just like such like funny editing moments, like when the New Kids on the Block theme plays, and so many parts of the clown too. yeah, like there was enough there, and then like just the world building of it too, like the lore of like this thing that's been here for 20 years, like that's like just my kind of thing. And it wasn't that scary. Like I didn't feel like I'm a little nervous that I'm gonna have some nightmares. I've had some bad dreams this week already, so like this is probably not gonna be great for that.
Yeah, you might have some things chasing you in your dreams.
That was literally one of my bad dreams. There was I was at a party. I think you two were there too, but then there was this guy who was threatening to stab everybody. And I was like, hey, don't stab people at this party. And then he just started chasing me. And I was like running, and then my brain played a montage of like cities that I've been to, and it was just me running through cities being chased by this guy with a knife.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna ask you if you got scared at all, if there were any things that made you.
No jump scare got me. Okay. So no jump scare got me. I don't think. There were definitely moments where I was like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like it was just like you can feel it coming, or something like that. But no jump scare got me. There were definitely moments where I would like just look around my room. Yeah. I was like checking the corners of my office every once in a while.
Yeah.
But the movie didn't like play that up too much. I thought it was going to in the beginning, but like in Hereditary, when you can like kind of see stuff in the background, that's what kind of made that spooky. I thought this would do that more, but it didn't. There were moments that was really like interesting, like at the library with the old woman in the background. That was wild. But then I was on the hunt for it, so I don't know. There wasn't as much. But yeah, overall, I really liked it.
And I think you said like the music really builds up the tension, so you kind of know something's coming, but it's still it's so good. Good.
Very good score in the movie. Just the soundtrack also, just like a lot of 80s music in there. Just like breaks a lot of tension. I mean, you shouldn't be like enjoying how much like you do with them just being together cleaning a bloody bathroom, but it's like, just like they're together and this music's playing and you're like, why is this so good? And also, can we just mention how fucking good the kid actors were? So that's always a tough thing in movies.
Incredible.
When you have a kid actor that's shit, that you're like, go back and rewatch fucking Jurassic World with Chris Pratt and the kids in it. You're like, come on, man. Like shit like that all the time, where like a kid actor is just not up to the task, and these kids were fucking nailing it.
Like Henry Bauer. I mean, though he's a little bit older than the other ones, but oh my god, like you truly think that he is a crazy person.
Brian, do you think Henry Bowers died?
Or
does he become the conspiracy theorist that helps them later?
I don't know what happened to. I think he's dead. He fell all the way down the well. I don't know that he becomes the conspiracy theorist, because I don't know. I think we'll see him again, but I don't know that that's the role he'll play.
So I think the big question is, would you watch part 2 on your own without us to see how it all ends?
On my own, probably not. I don't watch a lot of anything on my own. Yeah. And I'm going to have a hard time finding someone to watch this with in my household. But I do want to. I would like to see part 2.
I gotta say, personally, part 2 is definitely the lesser of the two films.
Yes.
Okay.
But still worth the storyline.
It's worth the storyline, but I find the conclusion very irritating.
Okay.
I don't want to say what happens. I'll have to tell Laura on the side of why it just irks me slightly, because they do deviate from the actual book's ending, because the book's ending is batshit crazy. Yep. Like it's not something you could really put into film and make it make sense. But the second movie ending is kind of like, okay.
I think Brian would enjoy them coming back together as adults seeing them as adults and like the adult actors.
I have a thing about that in here with some information. So Brian, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Laura, did you enjoy watching it all like with us, like to get like this? I mean, I did.
It's been a while since I've watched this. And
It's
now
so good.
it's so good. And I do want to go back and watch the
The other
mini
one,
series
yeah.
because it's been a really long time since I've seen that one.
It's another,
and it just was reminding me of things. I'm like, that one's so good too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
no,
Very
this
cool.
will always be one that I enjoy to watch.
So this movie itself came out in 2017 and was a smash hit, huge success. It is the number 5 highest grossing rated R movie domestically.
Wow.
And the number 1 highest grossing rated R movie of like worldwide of all time. The movie was not immediately given a part 2 green light. Warner Brothers wanted to see how well the first movie did. It immediately did so well. It was like the first weekend they were like, green light, we need part 2 to come out. So they did not film these back to back. They didn't have it ready. The director / writer who left, Cary Fukunaga, I think his name, he did not have a part 2 ready or anything. So only one of the writers from this one came back and wrote the second one. Again, a reason why I feel like it was lacking a little bit.
The same vibes.
Yeah, but it's still very, very cool. It's still a good conclusion. It's still good, like it's a necessary thing to see both of them. But worldwide, this movie made, for a rated R movie, did very well, making over $704 million. Very good doing that. Pennywise, again, Brian, you had mentioned Skarsgård did a great job in there. He's very memorable. Pennywise only has 4 minutes of dialogue in the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
So
it seems like so much more.
He has more. He does have more on screen time. I think it's up to like 15 minutes of on screen time, or I think 11 or something they said, but only 4 minutes of actual dialogue in the entire film.
And even that sounds high. Like, I don't remember.
Right, you don't remember him saying as much.
It felt like he didn't talk very much.
Well, the majority of it is in that opening scene, basically. Like 2 minutes with Georgie, probably a minute and a half at the end, just talking about leaving Bill behind.
Yeah.
And then in between, he's just like, beep, beep, Richie. Like, there's 10 seconds.
See, I feel like he's in it so much more than that, but I think you're always on the lookout for him to pop up anywhere or feel like he's always there. So maybe that's why it seems like he's in it a lot more than he actually is.
I think the other thing is too, like they really bank the strength of the movie on the relationship of the kids.
Yeah.
You know? I had mentioned earlier during the movie that Bill Skarsgård's lazy eye is not CG. He can literally move it around. Bill Hader actually has a great story about it. He tells on one of the talk shows where he was first talking to Bill Skarsgård and just was like, "Hey man, can't wait to see the CG, how they do that eye thing." He's like, "You mean this?" And he like flips his eye around and he's like, "Ah!" Like, freaks out. Skarsgård also was kept away from the kids until they first filmed together in full costume. The crew warned the kids that he was very scary in character, but they brushed it off until they saw him, and they were genuinely terrified of him in character.
Yeah.
So one thing to mention here, the cast of the Losers Club, the kids were all asked who they would want to play them as adults. So Richie, Finn Wolfhard, said Bill Hader. It's got to be Richie. It's got to be Bill Hader, right? Sophia Lillis, who played Bev, said Jessica Chastain. I'd love that. Chosen Jacobs plays Mike. Mike said Chadwick Boseman would be his dream casting. Jack Dylan Grazer, who played Eddie, said Jake Gyllenhaal would be a great adult Eddie. And then Wyatt Olaf, who played Stan, said Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be amazing as Stan. And then Jeremy Ray Taylor, who played Ben, said he would wish that Chris Pratt would play him as an adult. And then lastly, Jaden Martell, Bill, who played Bill, said he could picture Christian Bale playing his character. So only Finn Wolfhard and Sophia Lillis were correct with their dream casting. Who else could you picture playing? We'll just start right down the line. Who could you picture playing Mike? Chadwick Boseman, obviously, he was still alive when in 2019 when it came around, but he was so into Marvel, it would have been probably too expensive and commitments didn't work out.
I feel like John Boyega could do a good job too.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay. How about Bill?
Bill.
We know Christian Bale didn't play the role.
I don't know. He's a tough one. Who's like
John Boy from the Waltons played him in the as the adult for the TV miniseries.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel like this
is a hard question.
I can't like think of any actors right now.
Okay. What about Ben? Do you feel like Chris Pratt would have been a great choice? Because I personally would have loved to have seen Chris Pratt, especially because he was like in Parks and Rec, he specifically was overweight in the show, and then for Guardians he got really buff. And spoiler alert, Ben does get.
I was gonna ask, do you think
Ben,
he has a glow up or?
He does have
for sure.
Yeah, he becomes a pretty handsome dude.
Yeah. Everyone's got that friend that was Ben when you were kids. Now they're just like the hottest boy.
Yeah.
Right. So I get it, Brian, to not guess. Let me tell you the actors who came through. Okay. It Chapter 2. Mike Hanlon was played by Isaiah Mustafa, who's actually, if you look him up, he was the Old Spice guy in the Old Spice commercials.
Yes, okay. I'm like, I don't know who he is now.
Yeah.
I know.
Bill Denbrough was played by James McAvoy.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep. Now the last few are not as big names. Ben was played by a guy named Jay Ryan. Haven't seen him in too much. He's popped up in a few things like the John Krasinski, Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan show. He's been
a very
in a few
handsome
things.
boy.
But he's a pretty handsome boy. And then Eddie was played by James Ransone. This guy pops up everywhere. I see him all the time. He was in The Wire season 2 for a whole season. He was in Sinister 2, Black Phone. He pops up in horror movies all the time. He is just as perfectly cast and funny as Eddie in his Kid Eddie. He does amazing. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Sorry. Coughing fit today. And then Stan is played by a kid named Andy Bean, or a guy named Andy Bean. I've only seen this guy in one other thing. He played the human version, or the man of who played Swamp Thing when DC had their own streaming service. They made a very horror-driven Swamp Thing TV show. It was incredible, but they cut it after 8 episodes and we're like, we're not making this anymore. It was crazy, but he played Alec Holland in that. Okay, so another thing, it's every 27 years, right? That that it comes out of hibernation. The number 27 is often associated with this story, but even beyond that, the film, the original, or this film, part 1, released 27 years after the 1990 television miniseries. Right? In the book, it mentioned that it returns to Derry approximately every 27 years. Jonathan Brandis, he was played young Bill in the original film, died at 27 years old. The movie was released 1 month after Bill Skarsgård's 27th birthday. Jay Martell, Jeremy Ray Taylor, Nicholas Hamilton, who played Henry, are all 27 years younger than the actors who portray their characters in the miniseries. Then the official release date for this movie was on 9/8/2017. 9 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 is 27. The second film was released on 9/16/2019. 9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 is 27.
Cool.
That's
Very
some, like,
weird.
Is it
about
Taylor
all
the
Swift,
27s.
like, mythology going on here with all
Yeah.
these numbers?
This is, yeah. So how this connects to the Roman Empire? Okay. So yeah, but just very interesting that all these coincidental 27s happen with this story is pretty
I
interesting.
never knew that.
Yeah. So Brian, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I think I liked I love any of the like lore building scenes. I don't know. I think I liked when they teamed up and threw rocks back at the bullies.
Oh,
that was
that's
a good
one.
like team building
Yeah.
exercise.
Team building exercise.
We're really a club now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Laura, what about you? What was your favorite part in the rewatch, at least?
I have a few different ones looking back. I really like towards the end when he realizes it's not really Georgie and shoots him, but then when it starts to turn into the clown, it's just so, it's like funny but creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
And
Legs
he starts to like
popping
pop
out
his
to
little
full-
legs
yeah.
out, and I don't know, it's so cool.
Mm.
And then I also do love, kind of like Brian was saying, like the lore building when they go to Ben's room and he has all the maps and everything up on the wall and all like the newspaper clippings and stuff. And then anything that freaking Richie or Eddie say is so funny.
Gazebos? They're
so
bullshit.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
Uh-huh.
Anything they say.
I was going to actually have that as a quote for Brian to guess what he thought what was bullshit, but
Yeah.
gazebos. Yeah.
So good.
Eddie and Richie were on point, and when they interacted with each other, that was my favorite stuff, is their interactions with one another were freaking brilliant. They're just so good together. Yeah, so those are our favorite part, all of our favorite parts. Let's talk about some guesses here. So what did we think this movie's about? Brian, you knew already a very good majority of what the movie is about. Is kind of like when we watched Jaws as our second movie. It was like, what do you think the movie's about? And Brian was like, a shark attack. It was like, yes, but there's a lot more involved. And you actually had more than I thought you would. I knew you would know about clowns. I knew you knew, but like I didn't realize your Wikipedia like checkup from however many years
get
ago.
really interested in stuff, and I think I probably saw like a social post about that it was more than the clown, like that whole thing. And I was like, oh well, I'm never gonna watch this, so I'm just gonna like
read about
look
it,
this up because I'm curious. Or I saw some YouTube video at some point about like Stephen King's weird like interconnected universe or something.
New
like
rock
that.
stars. Did you catch all the Easter eggs?
Yeah, something like that, I'm sure.
So you said, what did you know? And you said there's a clown, an evil clown, Pennywise. You knew the name. You thought he's an evil being, an ancient evil being. Yes, and they go more into that in the second film. However, there was originally a deleted scene, which it's not from any of the books, but the opening of the movie was going to be in like the 17 or 1800s in Derry, and a woman had just given birth to a baby and has another child, and she willingly gives this child away, this baby, to protect the family. It's like Puritan times, sort of like 1700, and it's it's like it's on the ceiling watching her give this offering to it. And they filmed it, and it was not put in the movie, but it was going to be the very opening scene of the film to set the tone a little differently.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering if he ever creates this expanded edition that he was talking about doing, if he'll include some of that stuff in there, because there was a lot of stuff shot. But yeah, he goes very far back, so cool thought there. Every 20 to 30 years we're going to see the kids and adults goes back to the 80s, and then it comes back to the early 2000s. So it's like, I think it's based it's 27 years after 2000, or after 1989, so that's like almost like 2016, 2015, I think, right? Is that about right? Yeah. 2016, I think would be or 17. I don't know. I can't do the math right now. But anyway, that's accurate. In the book, it is the 1950s and then the 1980s. That's the time frame.
Okay.
So there is a HBO has a series coming out. Max, I mean, has a series called Welcome to Derry that is going to take place in the 50s.
I can't wait for that.
Bill Skarsgård is not coming back as Pennywise for the series, so he may not be the dancing clown. He may be under his alias Bob Gray, which is again from the book. He goes by that from other time periods, but maybe another actor. But again, he's a shapeshifter. You don't need Bill Skarsgård, but it is going to be, we are going to miss him a little bit.
Yeah.
So both stories happen at the same time. Your original guess, which is exactly how the book happens. We are seeing the adults and the kids go through at the exact time. And the miniseries tried to kind of mix that in, where we said earlier, you're seeing the adult remember what happened to them in the past, and it all culminates to the end. You said Bill Hader is in the film, which you were sort of right. He's in the sequel. Finn Wolfhard, there's clown is Bill Skarsgård. Kid gets eaten very early on, very Jaws scenario. Kid in a yellow rain coat with a boat, and a fucking clown is in the storm drain. Shape-shifty clown.
Yep.
Also very accurate. You guessed the time frames, 80s, 2000s, and Maine. Absolutely right. 80s for this movie, 2000s the next, Maine, Derry, Maine in the next one. Brian, you will also appreciate this came out in 2017. The Joss Whedon Justice League came out in 2018 from Warner Brothers, and then this came out in 2019. Why did I bring that up? Because of the bad mustache in Justice League, Henry Cavill's replacement, and weird upper lip. They had to, unfortunately, all the kids hit puberty pretty hard when they filmed this one in 2018, and they very poorly digitally de-aged them for one scene in the movie. And it's basically like watching Henry Cavill with a mustache but not have a mustache on screen. It just looks off. Like it's supposed to be the same year that it is happening, the first movie, and it's clearly not.
Yeah.
So who was in the movie? We named a couple people. Did good. Who was Henry? He's the kid. The kids find this conspiracy theorist who has encountered the clown, and he's older, and he knows the clown from the 50s or even the 20s. And he regrettably helps the kid, and then he dies by the clown. No, Henry's just a piece of shit bully.
Yeah.
Who does help the clown.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he kind of like.
And Brian, if you ever watch part 2, you'll find out if Henry is involved or not.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Who's the clown after? And you said, ooh, probably just the kids, or if you piss him off. Like he's gonna, you take his boat, you dead.
Yeah.
Both right.
Yeah, kind of, right? Like, but I will say this, if you do leave Derry, you are generally in the clear. If you come
just
back,
the town. Yeah.
If you come back to Derry, you're generally not in the clear.
Yeah.
What toy that we're all familiar is in the movie? We saw the toy. Mm-hmm. It was a turtle. It was made out of plastic. Who's Georgie? He is the first death, or the little Eaton boy in the yellow raincoat.
Little Eaton boy.
Yes, that's Bill's brother. Who is Pennywise? The dancing clown, of course. DCU connection. Why can't I think of his name now? Blah, 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 blah. Jack Dylan Grazer was in the Shazam movies. Then we said Stranger Thing connection was Finn Wolfhard. You knew that right off the bat. The D&D connection, you got Sophia Lillis.
Nice.
Which was interesting. You got her by name, but didn't realize she was in the movie. Because you obviously know her from the D&D movie.
Yeah.
And then during the movie, I was going to ask about the Knives Out, and that was Jaden Martell. What's the name of the character's club? It is the Clown Butchers. They're the losers.
It would be a better name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Questions I didn't ask. Finish these quotes. He thrusts his fist against the post and still insists he sees the what? I wish I'd asked you that. We were running out of time. It was the ghost. That's Bill's. In therapy, Bill was given that phrase to help him not stutter. They're blank. They're bullshit. Gazebos. That was a good one. Finally, the kill counts. What is the kill count? There are only 3 on-screen deaths and 28 unseen deaths in the film.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So a total of 31 deaths.
Wow.
And that is the facts. I think it's time to bring out the doof meter. I think I have a clicky doof meter over here today.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's clicking enough. It doesn't have a lot of energy in it.
It is.
Okay. All right. So obviously, Brian, or everybody, obviously you don't remember what the doof meter is, our patented doof meter. That is our film rating system of our 1 to 5 rating, where 1 is, this is a movie, and a 5 is, wow, my God, how have I not seen this? I am a doof for not watching this sooner. And that kind of thing. So, Brian, you're going to go first. Listen, Laura and I already know no horror movie is ever just a 5 for Brian. Like Brian's like, yes, I should have seen this movie that makes this genre that makes me uncomfortable earlier in my life. I get that. But
I don't know. If it was going to be anyone, it would be this one, I think.
I mean, I think it sat well, but I'm excited because the other thing is, well, I'll explain my thing after I hear Brian. I don't want to say anything else.
I think this is a solid 4.
Nice.
I was gonna go. Yeah. I was gonna go for 5. I do think that the 5 for me is like the franchise. Like I think that a lot of this stuff I don't necessarily know from this movie, but from the like TV miniseries and like the older movie and stuff like that. Like all of that stuff referenced or like gifs and stuff like that is just sort of like this like the book, like the adaptations, not necessarily the specific film. So a lot of the stuff that I like got right was that I did thoroughly enjoy it. I do think that like obviously like 4 is pretty high. I think that like I probably should have seen this sooner. Like this is good. I do think that this is probably the right timing for me specifically, having been desensitized by some of the other scary movies that we've watched. I don't know if this was the first one that we watched that I would have enjoyed it as much, but
or if we were sitting outside in your backyard
or outside, that would have been
I think I would have been a little freaked out here and there.
I really wanted that. I wanted to do 2 in-persons honestly for these, but I was like, I'm gonna just we can do this. This is fine. We'll have a good time.
You know what though? I've got my like studio headphones on, like my very nice Sennheisers, and it's rough. You can hear a lot of stuff in these. There's a lot of like weird sounds that they've put in the mix there. Like it's not just the score and like the dialogue, but like there's squelching and like
and just children chanting occasionally,
and little like pings and only one side of your headphones or something. So I'm like, oh shit, what's in here? So the mix was I don't know. The outside would have been bad, but it wasn't that much better in my dark studio with my headphones on.
I love it. Great. I really happy with that. Yeah. And Laura, you gave a 4 on that too, or was that just your guess?
I was guessing that what was Brian going to say. And I guess that he was going to do a 4. But mine would be a 5.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, same. Mine would be a 5.
I think we all know why.
Awesome. Love it. All right, well, let's shuffle that doof meter out of here right now. I'll just click again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Goodbye, doofy. All right, y'all. Can I redeem myself?
All right, let's do it.
On a 6 degrees. It's been 4 in a row now that I have failed. And if I can't get this at least by 5, we might have to start chopping these out because I'm getting embarrassed. I think I'm starting in my old age, starting to lose useless facts I don't need to know. And like just connecting actors through movies is probably what's starting to go on my end.
All right, I have one.
If it makes you feel any worse about it, I started editing in the fast forward sound effect because it was just 2 minutes of you repeating the two actors' names.
Dude, you don't know. That was last episode was the first time you did that. And I literally was in the car like, I think Brian, when I heard it, I was like, yep.
Well, it was
silence.
2 minutes of you just going this actor's name and then this actor's name. I don't even remember who they were last time.
It was literally
I tried
Julianne Moore to Anne Hathaway, and it was so easy.
If I try and talk to her again, I feel bad because I'm distracting you. So
yeah, it's okay.
All right, I have one. I'm just gonna throw a softball to you. I think.
Don't give me any.
Oh, but it doesn't sound like Brian's going to though. So.
Good. I don't want to have pity. I just want to see if I can do it. But all right, what do you got?
Brian, you go first. I'm intrigued what yours is. Oh God.
I'm bringing you Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton, man. Okay. Billy Bob Thornton.
Mine is Sandra Bullock.
Billy Bob Thornton to Sandra Bullock. All right, here I go. I'm gonna go starting now.
That's a good one.
Billy Bob Thornton to Sandra Bullock. The problem is I actually have the connection already. I just don't know. I think I got it. All right, hold on. I think I got it. You ready? 13 seconds if I got this. Billy Bob Thornton in Armageddon with Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck and Sandra Bullock in a movie called Forces of Nature?
Yeah.
Boom.
Redeemed.
Oh, that feels good.
Amazing.
That feels good. 12.59 seconds.
We don't have to fast forward you.
That was really good.
Brian, you better put me in fucking slow motion this time. I was the second you said Sandra Bullock, I'm like Ben Affleck, they were in a movie and I was like, something about nature. Fuck my life. What is it? I'm like, oh. So yeah, that's good. Oh, I feel
Very
redeemed.
Not a great movie, but
No, it's not. No. But was there any other was that the connection you saw, Brian or Laura, or was there a different one?
They were in a movie together called Our Brand is Crisis from 2015.
I was gonna say that came out fairly recently.
It does not look familiar to me at all.
Nope.
I remember hearing about it. Yeah. Okay then.
Well, good job.
Thank you. Thanks for lobbing me that softball. God, I'm glad you went with Billy Bob Thornton. Can I just tell you, a couple weekends ago, a buddy of mine I haven't seen in a long time came over, and I have that card game, and he's the guy that he and I used to do this when we worked at the video store together. We would just literally pick a movie and be like, this person to that person, and we would just play this game. So he was like, yeah, let's do this, and he was just like this, getting them so fast, like, and I was playing, like doing it more for him, but I was trying to figure it out, and I was hoping this would spark memory. But he was like, all right, we got to do it. No Marvel connections, or we got to do it with no this connection, no this. And it was like getting harder. And then he was like, I have the ultimate one. He's like, Hulk Hogan to Andre the Giant through movies only.
Oh.
And Andre's only been in The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's been in like a handful of movies, but we got it in like, I think 3 or 4 connections through Gremlins 2.
Oh God.
Through like Gremlins 2 to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, essentially, like, because Judge Reinhold was in Gremlins 2 and Phoebe Cates, and like I can't remember the exact thing, but we got there, and it was fucking wild. Like it was like to Carrie Elways and Saw to like, no, it was weird. But, but yeah, it got my brain going again. So this was good.
If you want to get your brain going again, head over to reeldoofs.com. You can find all of our links to our social medias, which right now is just Facebook and Instagram. It's at Reel Doofs. We will post polls. We'll let you know when new episodes drop. So if you aren't following us, please do. And if you aren't subscribed on whatever podcast thing you're listening to us on right now, just hit the little subscribe button and leave us a little review. That would be super. We're people too. Yeah, we're not just down in the drains with our little paper hats and balloons.
Awesome.
All right.
Don't you want your boat, Georgie?
You'll float too.
We all float in this podcast. Just so you know, I am multitasking, and I've decided to watch Meg 2 The Trench on mute while we record our podcast until it's time to watch it.
Okay, good. I was like,
it's on my other screen.
Like, the point is to watch a different movie, not Meg 2.
No, it's Meg 2. I saw it and I couldn't resist. So just come on a dragon's fight.